Time for Seagull 2. Let's do it. Hi Kimberbell friends, Cristin here, and we are going to work on Seagull 2 today. Did you join the Facebook group Cristin Creates? We're having so much fun in that group making this vintage boardwalk quilt together. I hope you're joining in the fun. So today, Seagull 2, we need our main fabric as the light gray with white dots backed with fusible stabilizer in size 5.5 by 6.5. It's actually going to go that way. 5.5 by 6.5. And then we need our white houndstooth fabric, again backed with fusible stabilizer, and that one's going to be 3.5 by 3.5. And then our batting is the only last thing that we need, and I've cut mine to 5 by 4 for this block because the block, the final cut size is 3.5 by 4.5. So I always just cut my batting a 1/2 inch larger than the final cut size. So speaking of final cut size, that's also what we determine for our quilting design. So this one's going to be a little bit different. I've chosen lines 2. I call it the spooky lines because it's like these messy lines, and I think it's pretty fun for a sky. I think that'll be a good one for behind the bird. So what we need though is a 3 by 4, and Kimberbell doesn't have a 3 by 4 size, but we can easily adjust it, especially these lines, very easy to adjust. It's not going to distort anything. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the 4 by 4 size and then just smooshing it a little bit, right? That's the word, smooshing it. So you can easily do that on your embroidery machine, or you can use your computer and do it using embroidery software, whatever works for you. So once we do that, we can use our 5 by 7 hoop so that there's no double hooping or anything. For those that's their largest hoop, it'll work fine for this. And we're going to do some fringe like we did yesterday, and that's easy to do. It does say in the directions to change your bobbin thread, and I'll point in the directions when you're supposed to do that. I generally don't do that, so I'm just pointing it out that it makes it a little easier to find them and to pull them up, but I'll give all that information in pictures. All right, so Seagull 2, and it is our last fringe block. How cool. We are just jamming along. So block 25 today. Let's do it. Hi everyone, Cristin Som here. I didn't get to do this share the screen yesterday in the tutorial. I tried, but for some reason it didn't have any sound. So I'm going to try it again real quick. I only have a few minutes, but let's just give this a try. So I am using Sew What Pro embroidery software. As I mentioned, for the 3x8 quilting design, we need to alter the size because there isn't a 3x8. I showed on the tutorial how you can do this on your embroidery machine, but here's another option if you want to try embroidery software. If you have Embrilliance or some other, that should work as well. This is just what I use, Sew What Pro. I believe there's a free download, like a trial. I bought this years ago from S&S Computing, I think it's called, and it works great for me. It's just very user friendly. So anyway, real quick here. So I'm in Sew What Pro. I go to File, Open, and I find my orange peel. If I recall, I think I did the 2x8, and say no. All right, so you can see it thinks that we're going to use a 5x7 hoop. By the way, sorry, I keep looking up my bigger monitors up there. So right here, this little hoop looking button is to adjust our hoop size. So I'm going to change it to a 6x10 so that we can see it all. And then if I zoom out, then I'll be able to see all of the hoop. All right, so this is the 2x8 quilting design by Kimberbell. You can see it's actually 2.5 by 8.5. That's because of that placement stitch. See this outside here. The placement and tack down for the main fabric is what makes it larger. But the quilting design itself, which is step 5, you can see is 2x8. All right, so to widen it, this is all I did. I clicked on the design and then just widen the whole thing. And you can see up here, it tells you what you're at. So now we're at 3.5 by 8.5, which is really exactly what we need. So then you want to go up to the top to File, Save As. You always want to save as so that you're not wrecking the original file, because you'll want your 2x8 later. And then just change the wording to something that you'll remember. I'm going to change it to 3x8 test, because I already changed one. And this is just a real quick tutorial on how to do it on embroidery software. Easy peasy. And then, like I said, I showed you on my machine. I'm sure that each machine is different, but it should, you should be able to relate it to what works on your machine. I hope this helps. Don't be afraid of this block. It's a really fun block. The soda bottles, you just have to adjust the quilting design to fit 3x8.